And if you look straight through this window, you'll see the Eiffel Tower. Yeah, they sure didn't make it very easy to get in here. I had to jump over that gate. You've got to admit, this is pretty interesting. A developer chose to build this within China. Basically a model, a replica of Paris. Doesn't look like any construction's really going on. It does appear as though they have blocked it off completely. You can't get in. You got this little tiny gap here. See? We're gonna check out a very interesting place right here in China. A place that you wouldn't expect to see. We're going by subway. A couple of advantages. First, it's more of the local way of traveling, so it makes for a good video, and it saves me a little bit of money. Nice, fresh, clean subway. Now, if you recall, when we first got on this subway, it was pretty crowded. But as we get closer to where we're going, you can see it's virtually empty. And I'll show you where we started and where we're going. So we started, we'll just say down here somewhere. We're working our way out, and we're going to this one here, the second to last, Hangzhou Station. Oh, I took a nap on the train, so I don't know exactly how long the trip took, but I will say this is on the outskirts of Hangzhou. It's a pretty long ride. I want to say it took at least 30 minutes, maybe more, to get out here. Granted, the subway ride was comfortable and smooth, but it's, you know, it's kind of out here in no man's land. So the location of this place is not all that convenient, unless you have a real reason to want to come out here. Otherwise, I don't see why a lot of people would want to make that trip. Ton of e-bikes and scooters, but not a whole lot going on over here. I don't see many people, but I'm telling you, they've got so many e-bikes and scooters all around. Just everywhere. I'll tell you, they sure didn't make it very easy to get in here. I had to jump over that gate. It's a gate, but it's locked up with a chain. But I see people in here, so I know you're allowed to go in here. I see plenty of people. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna start at one end of this area. This is the Paris within China. It's an area called Tianducheng on the outskirts of Hangzhou. We're gonna start at one end, and we're gonna walk up their makeshift version of Champs-Élysées all the way up to the Eiffel Tower. We're gonna start here though, check it out. And like I said, they made it very hard. You see, they've got a green construction wall on the outside, and I didn't know how to get in, so I just jumped that little gate. It wasn't that easy though, but I'm here. We're gonna start from the top, do a walkthrough. We're gonna talk about this place, and I'm gonna give you some insights to it and share a very unique experience with you all. We're starting from the very opposite end of the Eiffel Tower. Got a lot of people coming over here for selfies and photo shoots, probably live streaming. Put some clothes on, pal. So at the far end of Champs-Élysées, you've got the French mountains, maybe the French Alps. No, you've got the French countryside, French castle. I'm out of breath, guys. I just went up a lot of stairs. Turn around, and our journey for today begins. And if you look straight through this window, or this corridor, all the way out, you'll see the Eiffel Tower. Now, if you're just tuning in, I do want to tell you that you do need to watch this, because there have recently been a couple videos about this place. I've seen one from Sabbatical, and then more recently one from a channel called Yes Theory. And there have been some changes since they made their videos here, and no one has seen this yet. So you will see it in this video, so you definitely need to stay tuned until the end. So let's start the journey. Let's talk about this place. Okay, so apparently this was built in 2007. Okay, 2007 would have been, well, let's go the other way. Don't want to interrupt them. 2007 was what I call the golden, it was part of the golden era of modern China. It seemed like China was the future. 2007 is actually the year I came to China originally. And there was a feeling of optimism in the air. Things were exploding, like in terms of just development. People were coming from all corners of the globe to be here in China. And it was an amazing time. I really believe, and I've told this to anybody that I'm friends with, during those years, and probably prior to my arrival too, but I got here in 2007. So from 2007 up to 2012, 2013, those years, I really believe that China was the coolest place on the planet. It was the place to be, without a doubt. It was just awesome. It was exciting, it was friendly, it was fun, it was safe, but there was just enough like chaos and stuff to keep things interesting and keep you stimulated. And the fact that a developer during that time chose to build this within China, basically a model, a replica of Paris, or a part of Paris, shows you the confidence they had, and they just felt like, hey, we can build anything, just there's nothing but sunshine ahead. Everything's gonna be great. If we build it, they will come, and we're gonna build something awesome. We're gonna build our own little Paris right here in China. I mean, you wouldn't see something like that done in a country where people were just barely scraping by. I think this is an example of, it's the manifestation of excess and confidence is the only way you could end up with a place like this. So it's a really rare place just anywhere on the planet. You just typically wouldn't see something like this. That shows you where China was at that time. And another thing that I think it shows is that China was very open to the outside world. They saw the beauty in other countries. They could appreciate other cultures. There was a deep curiosity and even an admiration for other cultures and societies. And the result is something like this. Somebody was so intrigued and appreciated French architecture and French culture so much that they wanted to create it within their own nation of China. So you can see it back there where we started. I'm trying to get out of here, but they block everything off with these metal walls. And I don't know where this comes out. I've seen a few people go there. I mean, eventually you'd have to assume that it comes out somewhere. In theory, you should just be able to go straight across. I mean, that's the way it's supposed to be set up. You should be able to come straight across, go across the street, walk straight to the fake Eiffel Tower, but you cannot do that. Everything's blocked off now. I'm just over here using the bathroom. I saw a couple of workers and I asked them, is there a way to get out that way? And they said, no, there's not. I said, how do you get out? And she just said, oh, it's got to go over here. Now, when I was over here, like I said, the only way I saw to get in was by jumping over a fence. Now, there is no way in hell that these other people and these women that are here doing their photo shoots and stuff, they would not be able to jump over that fence. So I don't know if I'll be able to find it, but I will look. One thing to note as I'm walking along this, look how fresh these bolts are. This is clean. Like this wall has not been up long. I mean, there's not even dust on it. No dirt, no dust. So this is fresh. This was just put up recently. Well, after a lot of wandering around and confusion, we made it back. Here we are to Champs-Élysées, and now we're heading straight out to the Eiffel Tower of China. I mean, at the very least, you've got to admit, this is pretty interesting. It's pretty wild. We're out here in a fairly remote part of China. I mean, we're in Hangzhou technically, but we're on the outskirts. Kind of in BFE. Some of you might recognize that acronym. I already walked all the way out here, so I've already seen what's here, so I can talk about it, what I've already seen as we walk back. I wanted to show you guys that park. I want to start from the very beginning. And as we walk back, I'm going to tell you about my views on this place, kind of what it looks like to me. Obviously, this place was built within the excesses of China's golden age. This kind of place could not be built now. And not for any financial factors. It just couldn't, because the main reason is there has been a huge push to wipe out like any kind of Western influence here and really focus on nationalism and national pride. And if a developer said that they wanted to build a foreign city within China, I don't think a lot of people in China would be very fond of that idea. And in fact, I think a lot of people would be pretty angry with it. I think they would feel insulted. Just one closed down place after the next. Can you imagine when this place was just built, what it must have looked like? I mean, there are places open. There's a quality life experience center, whatever that is. They've got lingerie. Okay, no, that's quality of life. Got to make sure your lady has some nice lingerie. But a lot of the places here are closed down, and it's, let's just say, by Chinese standards, this is pretty darn desolate, you know. And amongst the people I have seen, it's a certain demographic. It's not a young, affluent type like you might think. The demographic that I have seen as I've been walking around in this Parisian replica is a lot of older people and people that look like they came from rural areas. Because this, not that long ago, was a rural area before they built this. You see a lot of older folks, a lot of people that look like they came from the countryside, to be honest. That's the demographic that I've seen out here. Not a young, affluent, well-traveled demographic. To the contrary. Now, I have walked the real version of this road. I've been to Paris, been to the Eiffel Tower. Now, one thing to note, this replica is only 1/3 the size of the real Eiffel Tower. That's worth noting. But I've been to Paris, had an amazing time. I absolutely loved Paris. An awesome city, great energy, a lot of fun. A little bit on the crazy side, but I just loved the vibes I was getting there. It was awesome. It took a perfect storm of factors and events in order for this place to come into existence, because almost at no point in China's past could this kind of place have been built. And nowadays, absolutely not. I mean, it's to the point in China now where if Chinese people, like on the Chinese internet, because you know, the most of the internet that viewers watching this video use is blocked for Chinese people. Like anything on Google, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, even things like Wikipedia, it's all blocked, so Chinese people cannot access it. But on the Chinese internet, they also have their own like homegrown versions or knockoffs. You know, like Baidu is basically just a knockoff of Google, and they've got their streaming sites and platforms, and you can leave comments and all that. And it's to the point now where if people here leave a comment complimenting anything about a foreign country, like saying, oh, they've got beautiful culture or almost anything, it's not uncommon to see them get viciously attacked in the comment section by hardcore nationalists telling them, hey, well, if you like it so much, why don't you just go there? You're Chinese, you know, you should love Chinese things. Which for me, I'm American. I love a lot of things about America, but I love a lot of things about China. I love a lot of things about a lot of countries. I think the world's a beautiful place. I love travel. I love exploring and learning about foreign cultures. And, you know, back home, if we compliment a foreign country, it's normal. You know, if anything, we're maybe too complimentary of foreign cultures and their way of doing things. But over here, if the Chinese people do that on the internet, they will get attacked in the comments section, and it can get quite brutal. And over here, you got a few more places open, even though they're kind of just little rinky-dink type of shops and stuff. But this is some people's livelihood, you know. It's their family business. It's their bread and butter. It's how they bring home the bacon, baby. But there is a certain Chinese idiom that I'll share with you all, and this idiom kind of expresses the sentiment that a lot of nationals here have when their fellow countrymen compliment or look up to other countries. They throw this kind of term around a lot, and naturally it makes the person who was saying something good about the foreign country feel bad. So it's quite a powerful, well, what it is essentially, it's a bullying tactic that stems out of insecurity, is what it looks like to me. So you can see the canals here, looking pretty dry. I remember walking this in Paris, and it was really cool. I walked so much in Paris. I got a lot of exercise just from walking. But here you can see the demographic here. I mean, there's a young lady over there, young and attractive. Over here you've got a common sight. So you're seeing a lot of the, hey, 你们好. You've got a lot of people over here hanging out, probably playing cards and like Chinese checkers and stuff. But you can kind of see the demographic over here. You know, it's definitely not a young, affluent type, but they're playing cards. Hey, 你好. 你是本地人吗? So as I was saying before, I was interrupted by that really friendly gentleman back there. Such a nice guy, by the way. It's almost a miracle that this was ever built But now let's talk about the reality of it. I mean, they built a replica. The developer here built a replica of a certain part of Paris in China. And I mean, when you look at it, it looks cool. I mean, if that was in like an amusement park or something, that would be pretty damn cool. But to be built around a neighborhood and create property developments around a replica, which a replica, it's something that, when I think of it, it just seems like something that you would see in a theme park or an amusement park or something like that. So when you really get right down to it, it seems kind of cringe, you know? It seems like it would be almost something to not take that seriously. Although it is quite a sight, but it is essentially just a worse version of the real one. And it's just randomly put here. So you can see how far back I was. I was way back. I started at the absolute beginning. I walked down and all the way back. And now here's the new thing that you all wouldn't have seen yet. You see, there's the Eiffel Tower. Now, I'll put some clips up here, and I will reference the video. I'll put a couple of short clips. Credit goes to Sabbatical, who made a very good video about this place. He was able to walk right in, okay? Now, what you'll see is there's a green wall going all the way around this place now. And his video is not that old. So this place was here for a long time with no wall, right? You could just walk right in. But now I'm gonna walk all the way around and see if there's anywhere to get in, but it looks like, because I've already walked about a quarter of it, and it looks like it's pretty well surrounded by that wall, and that wall looks very new and very clean. Well guys, I've pretty much lapped this place, and it does appear as though they have blocked it off completely. Here's a little bit lower piece of wall, but there's no way I can get over it. That's still going to be about near 7 feet tall, and so you can't even get close to it anymore. And I think I know why. Actually, after I saw Sabbatical's video, I was a little surprised that he was even able to get over there. And his video brought a lot of attention to this place. And then Yes Theory came out here and made a video, and that got, I don't know how many, probably nearly 2 million views at this point. And you know, the place was looking pretty run down. It was falling apart. We're just walking around the perimeter here. You can see a lot of developments, a lot of apartment buildings. The place was, you know, it was falling apart. It had just been abandoned, basically. And I think, I know China pretty well. And when I saw those 2 videos come out about this place, I was like, you know what? I bet they're gonna either tear that thing down or block it off sometime. I didn't think they would block it off this quickly, though. But as you can see, I mean, this is a huge perimeter that they've built this wall around. They did not waste any time. So I think, you know, it's a face culture. They like to, they're big on saving face, and I think they felt they probably lost face by having this. Well, having the place in and of itself, I told you, I think it's pretty cringe. But on top of that, just having it in disrepair and just kind of falling apart, you know, was not a really good look. I thought I might be able to get in here, but nope, still blocked. But yeah, this is the most recent development. The place is, it's blocked off. You can no longer get near it. So, well, at least we have Sabbatical's video. You could really see what it looked like. And I did put a couple clips in here. So go check out his video if you want to see the full thing. Very interesting. And he lived in China before. He speaks Chinese. He knows a lot about China. Yes Theory's piece on this place, I mean, it was okay, it was entertaining, but to me it was more of just like a fluff piece, because those guys don't know jack shit about China. They don't speak any Chinese, and they didn't know what the locals were saying. They had a Chinese YouTuber with them, so, you know, who knows. I think there was probably a lot of stuff left out in their communications. They just couldn't really get the full experience. I wanted to come here and go explore, but as you can see, looks like I won't be able to get in. Now I know I've lapped it, because I remember this, the construction zone, and you can't get in. You got this little tiny gap here. See? You can no longer get in, but you can still see in the distance. Doesn't look like any construction's really going on. So I guess now the question for this place is, they've sealed it off. They obviously don't want people looking at it or anything like that. I guess they're embarrassed by it. Now the question is, what are they going to do from here? Are they going to fix it? Are they going to repair it and leave a fake Eiffel Tower here? Or are they just going to tear the whole thing down? Or are they just going to leave it blocked off so you can't get a closer view? I'm curious what they'll do. I really have no idea, and I doubt that I'll ever be back out here again. But this was kind of a one-off. But at least you can see it. You know, we were here, and you can see it's been blocked off. And the question we're left with is, what does the future hold for the fake Paris within China? Only time will tell. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. A lot more content on the way. Also, if you'd like to show a little extra support, please check me out on patreon.com or buymeacoffee.com. We'll catch you all in the next video. 下次再见。